Over 2 years ago, we looked at the Sigma 10-18mm F2.8 Contemporary, but on my beloved S5, so our mount, and we just wish we had it to travel with on my Fujifilm gear. So here we are out in Colombia. It's been a while since we've published to the channel. I've been out in Colombia for a few months. Anyway, I took with me the 10-18 from Sigma, my XE5 and the Sigma AF 75mm F1.8, seeing how that sort of travel combo works for me. I don't like to take too much, but I wanted to cover some of the bases, some of the bases. Anyway, yeah, so here we are testing it out. 10mm, wide open, in and out of the cloud and the sun, so you know, excuse the exposure as usual. Let's jump out and in and see how the autofocus fares. Remember, it's Fujifilm, but it's the XE5 and it's a 2-year-old lens. Not too bad. It's been a while since I've done this. I realised why I needed a break. Yeah, 10, now 18mm. So we're out in, I don't think it's doing too bad, to be honest. Not too bad. I'm being attacked here, frankly. Anyway, that is that done. This could be my go-to travel lens. We're always on the hunt, aren't we? This could do it for me, maybe. We'll see. I've been using it for the last month or so, and I'm going to use it for another month or so more before I put my thoughts together. So let's get back to the fun end and get my face as egg-shaped as well. Oh, there's light coming in there. Anyway, whatever. There's a motorbike coming. I better stop. Let's throw it over to the studio to look at this thing up close. Let's crack on. That is the unboxing. Unboxed, done. So warranty sticker there, instruction manual there, little manual for the hood, and a European warranty there. We don't need any of that, but I do like how they package stuff. So there's the hood and the lens itself. Now, if you've been on the channel for a while and you're interested in other mounts, I have looked at this for another mount, but this is the one that really interests me most, especially on this trip that I'm on. Not sure what's going on there, but we'll work it out. Cold to the touch. 10-18mm means a full frame equivalent of 15 to 27mm. Angle of view 109.7 degrees to 76.5 degrees. As you can see, no aperture ring. It's a 2.8 to 22 though. STM motor, 7 diaphragm blades, 13 elements in 10 groups. There's only dust and splash resistance. There's a tiny little bit of rubber around here, but that's all that they're claiming. Now, closest focusing 11.6 centimeters, magnification 1 to 4 at best, and the zoom ring was actually quite fine. That's all right. And it's not that much bigger. For me, travel is all about size and weight to a degree. Yeah, that's the up close. That's all we need to say, and stop fighting with that. Well, I don't know what's going on there. Well, finally, 3 months later, how do I feel about the build and handling? Well, on my XE5, the lens feels really good. It's very light, and traveling, I don't want heavy, large gear, so this lens fits perfectly into that concept. Now, the dust and splash resistance seems to be fine, but as the lens isn't weather resistant, I wouldn't want to risk it in anything more than a light shower. The rings are nice to work with, but as usual, it's a shame we don't have an aperture ring. It also lacks OIS, which isn't a problem if you have IBIS, as I do with the E5 and my T4. I'm also not totally sold on the way the lens hood fits into place, but yeah, I really appreciate the black text on the front of the lens, and overall the simple design works well. Autofocus, well, autofocus performance is good on the XE5. It's quiet, it's pretty accurate, and speed isn't bad for Fujifilm. Just don't expect to keep focus when zooming in and out. But more importantly, what about the image quality? Image quality wise, the lens performs the best at f5.6 on the 40 megapixel sensor, and diffraction sets in after f8. Sharpness is very good. Wide open, the corners are softer, especially at 10mm, but overall sharpness is a win. It's usable, especially for landscape and fun touristy stuff. Now, color rendering is really good, as is contrast performance. Chromatic aberration is well controlled and easily corrected. Barrel distortion is heavy at 10mm if you don't use correction, and vignetting is also present, but also not a deal breaker for me. Flare resistance could be better, but it's still workable. Now, bokeh is relatively pleasing, and even shooting close up at a magnification of 1:4 is pretty fun. So overall then, the IQ, the image quality, is pretty decent. But should you buy this lens? The lens is currently going for £648. So is it worth it? Well, as has been the case post-pandemic, prices are constantly rising. We won't go into the why. So we have to shift the mindset a little bit. So maybe looking at the alternatives on the market, you might say the rather decent Tamron 11-20, more expensive, it's bigger, it's heavier, it does have a longer focal length, but it's fraction less wide. personally going with this one. It was hassle-free as a travel lens, where every millimeter counts in my backpack, and even at the widest for me. And it did a very decent job. Yes, it's not weather sealed, it doesn't have an aperture ring, but you know, you can't win them all. With that, I am finally back. The channel will get busier again, so stay tuned for more, including from Sigma. But first, let us know what you think about this lens. You've probably had your hands on it now for a while, as I have, so it's over to you.